got to look at the size of Canucks Tiger, and you see how dangerous it could be. Look at the fact it's rear armour. This is side armour there. It's thicker than Sherman's frontal armour. And its suspension. Well, what's on? Oh, this is the. So this is the Henschel suspension, not the Porsche suspension. So this has not got a Rheinmetall gun in it, because it's actually originally going to have a Rheinmetall gun, but Krupp didn't want to use a Rheinmetall gun in one of their turrets, in the redesigned turret. This is a smaller frontal plate. They made their own version, which is pretty much identical to the other one. In uses it has the same power, same propellant, but just basically has Rheinmetall. It doesn't have a Rheinmetall badge on it. But this is actually the Mark II turret. As you can see, it has a smaller frontal plate compared to the old rounded one, which reduced the chance of having a shell trap. It also was less complicated to build because it didn't have a bulge on the side for the commander's cupola. So it had double width tracks, so you could take the first set of tracks off for transportation. And it had these wider ones for when it was not in transportation. So you see it doesn't have a bulge to the cupola, the commander's all inside. So look at that frontal armour slope, very similar to Panzer over there. But brilliant tank. Fortunately, they didn't make very many of them. So we've got Panzer, my favourite World War II tank, sort of. 75mm long barrelled gun, look how long that barrel is. Good frontal armour, 50 degree slope on the front, which is very useful. I'm pretty sure I worked out that something like you get effective thickness because the front plate is 85mm thick and it slopes at 50 degrees, so its effective armour thickness is somewhere around the 105mm thickness range. So look at that as a tank. It's got interleave road wheels, but it has, how many wheels does it have? It has 16? No, 8 on it. Yeah, it's 16. And a lot of wheels. Then we have Jag Panzer. So you can see the armour continues the same slope as Panzer over there. It has an 88mm L56 gun, same as Tiger 1. Much narrower track when you look at it, but it was a lot lighter than King Tiger. Big armoured casemate, not casemate, well, it did have a casemate on the top of it actually. Random stuff there. Here we have Berg Panzer. This is the troop transportation version. With an anti-aircraft gun on it. Which is a useful addition actually, because Brumbar is a rare tank. So this had a 15cm mortar on it. And it was based off of a Panzer IV hull? Yeah, Panzer IV hull. This was basically used for destroying, the idea was this was going to be an anti fortified building vehicle, because Stugs were being more designed for anti-tank roles than they were originally used for. So they got rid of the short barreled 75 and replaced it with a more long barreled 75. A Flak Panzer. This is basically a Panzer IV with an anti-aircraft gun on it. Hummel. So this is a Panzer IV chassis with a 150mm cannon. So this is basically a really heavy duty SPG, self-propelled gun. Nice though, isn't it? Panzer IV chassis. Quite weak armour up there when you look at how thin the plate is there. And it didn't have really that good of an armoured casemate, but it wasn't really designed for anti-tank roles. It was going to sit more in the background and then be more defensive. So this is that's an 88mm flak gun, and this is a Jagdpanzer 4/75. Yeah, I'd say it's probably 75mm. 1944. So basically, when the Panther 3 factory, or when the Stug factory got bombed, they decided to stop building the Panther 3 chassis for the Stugs, and they used the Panther 4 chassis instead. So that's when the Stug basically changed from this one to this one. So you see it's not really much different, except for they have a bigger slope on the frontal armour. They went from that triangular box there to the more rounded ones. Now here we have Hetzer or Jagdpanzer 38T, based on the Czech pre-war Panzer 38T. So this was basically quite a late war actual design, but it used 75mm gun. Now this is sort of one of them very good weapons or very bad weapons. I'm pretty sure Sweden actually used these after the war, but had good frontal armour because it's nice and sloped, as you can see. But other benefits of this tank was it was quite easy to produce, had a good chassis, but it was quite cramped, poorly laid out. So then here we have a same chassis again. If you look, same chassis, same wheel arrangement, but this is the lighter version. So this is Marder 3. So Marder series were the lightly armoured ones with like a body casemate like that, and these are the heavily armoured tank destroyer version. So this is French. So this is another Marder, but this is using a French hull. Actually, if you look, it's got the French suspension, copied for the what's it called? Oh, I've forgotten what it's called. That Canadian tank. So this is basically got the same gun. This has got a 105mm gun actually, so this is quite a heavy tank. But there's not much really amazing about this. If you look at how that is set out, it's very similar to the German troop transport vehicles. And this is using a Panzer 2 hull, by the look of it. Yeah, so if you look at how the suspension's laid out, that's a Panzer 4 hull. But it has a much bigger gun than Panzer 4 originally had, because Panzer 4 only had a 20mm cannon, which is basically an anti-aircraft cannon. But this tank has, what, 105? Yeah, 105. 20mm frontal armour. But look at that slope though. That's got to be, that's almost flat. It's not far off flat. I'd say it's probably it's probably about a 75-degree slope. So that's increasing your armour thickness by a long way. Panzer 38H, what's this one? Okay, this is another Marder based on the Czech Panzer 38T, but this has got a 75mm gun, and this is looking more like the more standard Marders. So look at how that casemate is designed. It's got sloped armour at the front. To me it's thinner, but has the same effective thickness. So this is what, another French tank design? I think it's based on a French tank. Oh, this is a Lorraine tractor. Yeah, Lorraine. Look at that front part. So this is, basically they added an extra set of wheels because the Lorraine supply tractor only had 2. But yeah, this is another Marder. You see, look at how the casemates are very similar to each other. So these are the early war. So this is Panzer 2, Panzer 3, Panzer 4, Panzer 5, Panzer 6. So let's go around. Yeah, so here we go. It's 20mm gun, quite quick firing actually, quite an effective weapon. Not really that much to say about this. Only got 14.5mm of frontal armour. This is actually a bit added on. But you see, this is the suspension. So you see, Germany was actually having to develop its own tank design. So it tried through each. So you had Panzer 1, which had like a bar running along the wheels. You got Panzer 2, which got independent leaf springs, and Panzer 3 went to torsion bars. Look at it compared to Panzer 3, it's very sort of similar in design. So you see you've got torsion bar suspension, front drive sprockets, and this has got what, 37mm? Yeah, 37mm gun this version has. They later upgraded it to 50mm once it became available, and then they actually put the 75mm gun off the original Panzer IV design onto it later on. 30mm the frontal armour, then they upgraded it to the Panzer 350, which had the 50mm gun and 50mm frontal armour. So this is Panzer IV, yeah. This has 75mm gun. This is actually a late war version. You can see by the fact it's got oh God, what's it called? Forgotten what that stuff's called. Zimmerit anti-mine paste. So it's got a long barrel 75mm gun, which made it excellent attacking anti-tank. So originally it had a short gun, which only would have come up to about there. But they've replaced that. It's also got add-on armour. So you see add-on armour there, and add-on armour on the turret, which increases effective armour thickness actually quite a lot more than the armour plate would suggest. So that's not that much thicker, but that would really increase the armour thickness, because once a shell hits it, it's blunted and it begins to turn, so it will not be able to penetrate as well. MG34 machine gun in it. So this is Tiger 1 or Panzer 5. Panzer 5? Yeah, it's Panzer 5. Yeah, so this had an 88mm gun. This muzzle brake a bit off. Had an 85mm KWK L56 gun. But I think it wasn't that amazing. If you just look at the Panzer 4 to Panzer 6, Panzer 5, there's not really that much difference. It's a lot bigger. It's almost twice the size of the Panzer 4. Unfortunately, it had very good specs, but actually it wasn't that useful in battle, because if they had sloped the frontal armour, it would have been much better. But they didn't bother doing that. I have no idea why they didn't. But anyway, it wasn't as good as I was sort of hoping. Suspension is overly complicated, with the interleave road wheels basically making it very difficult. If you've got to take off one of these wheels on the inside, you've got to take off 2 wheels, then you've got to take off another wheel, and you've got to keep taking off wheels, and you think if you have one bolt shears while you're doing it, you're stuffed. But you can see the size. Look at the size of the shell. But when you compare that to the gun of the King Tiger shells, it's twice the size. Twice the propellant in the L43 to L56 gun. So it's basically, you could say, twice as powerful, but it's using the same width projectile. This is Panzer 5 Panther again. This is a different one, because it's got the machine gun, but that one's got the machine gun as well. We've had a bit of an encounter with a machine gun. The problem with his Panzer 4, Panzer 6, was that its weak side armour meant it could actually be penetrated by Russian anti-tank rifles, which is a bit of a design myth-up. Sloped side armour again at 50 degrees, which basically meant that it was increasing its armour thickness. I think it's only 40mm thick side armour. It was 85 on the front. This is SW. Well, they like giving them simple names, don't they? It's good to send Panzerwagen. English is not too dissimilar from German. Leaf spring transverse leaf spring suspension and a half shank. So you see what they got the design suspension for the Tiger, though, can't you? Because this is very similar suspensions. See also the double width, double angle side armour. Very nice. This basically increased its effective thickness. This is an engineer's vehicle. Because I know what they're for. That's a bridging thingamajiggy. So this was used to help the tanks to arrive. I think these were making like 15 tons, but you wouldn't want to drive a 15-ton vehicle over them particularly.